telling you about Africa's burgeoning middle class, which is changing the face of the continent. High-priced merchandise, homes, and expensive tastes for social events like weddings is becoming the order of the day, but that lifestyle remains just a dream for many Africans just trying to survive. Images of many African cities show upscale shops and restaurants, lavish weddings, often the handiwork of an event planner. All these signs of Africa's growing middle class with money to splurge. Nigeria's middle class, for instance, according to a recent report by investment bank Renaissance Capital, make up about 23% of the population, earning upwards of 100,000 naira a month, or around $600. Evidence of this is in cities like Lagos, Abuja, and the oil hub Port Harcourt, where construction and real estate sectors have grown by up to 12%. The surplus spending is also fueling retail and entertainment industry, where expensive drinks are flowing like water.
These are the guys and ladies who want to invest behind the Range Rover, can afford to have a Ciroc in the outlets on the week-on-week basis. Yeah.
In its 2012 Africa Pulse report, the World Bank attributed 60% of sub-Saharan Africa's buoyant economic growth to consumer spending. It's expected to accelerate to more than 5% over the next 3 years, far outpacing the global average.
There has been an explosion of the middle class, going from the classic image of a civil servant working in the public sector, which was seen as stable, and now evolved into a middle class that has grown out of the private and informal sector. So yes, the middle class does exist.
On the receiving end of this is 31-year-old wedding planner CHRISTELLE of Ivory Coast. This once luxurious and exclusive service is now affordable for many Ivorians. Toussea only works part-time as a wedding planner, but says business has never been better.
My clients are from all walks of life. You know, you can plan a beautiful wedding regardless of the person's financial means. It's all about making a compromise with one's budget and what the person wants for their wedding ceremony.
This is a new beginning for Ivory Coast, the world's biggest cocoa grower. The West African nation is just recovering from post-election violence in 2011, preceded a few years earlier by political crisis and civil war, which hampered the country's economic growth. Now, with the return to peace, the rush of investors is returning the war-torn economy to prosperity. In 2012, the economy grew almost double to 9.8% from 2011. With more money to burn, consumers are spending money on new cars, modern electronics and other luxury items, as well as restaurants. This is a restaurant on Victoria Island in Nigeria called Terra Culture.
We cater a lot for the expatriate community. We cater also for Nigerians. And because of the nature of our program, we do theater every Sunday, so it attracts actually a cross-section of people.
However, not all Africans are reveling in middle-class prosperity, and some analysts are cautioning against too much hype. For instance, in Nigeria, many still live in poverty on less than $2 a day.
Middle class, in many parts of the world, are defined as landed gentry, in the sense that they own land, they own property. The number of people that own property in Nigeria are less than 2% of the population. Okay, so I would say that the Nigerians who are living above the poverty line have increased in number, but the Nigerians who can qualify as middle class or bourgeoisie, who have a major stake in society, are not growing as fast as is envisaged.
The World Bank forecasts that foreign direct investment in sub-Saharan Africa will reach $54 billion by 2015, up from $37.7 billion in 2012. But even with the positive narrative of economic recovery, sociologist RODRIGUE KONE argues that Ivory Coast still lags behind other regional economic powerhouses such as Ghana and Nigeria. Now, some analysts also say Africa's middle class will continue to grow if countries maintain relative stable politics and sound economic policies. Back to you, Vincent.
Well, thank you very much. And Ndimyake, we want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we covered during the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54, and check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com.